You want to do another one? This one is titled, I Miss My Husband and Best Friend.
Uh-oh.
Hey y'all, I'm going to try to be as detailed and as short as possible as I'm really bad with my words and I am so sorry in advance if I struggle to get my point across. My husband and I have been together for 11 years. We have 3 daughters, the oldest, age 13, I had from a previous relationship, but he adopted her and the girls we had together are 9 and 6. We have lived a traditional marriage lifestyle right out of the gate where I'm a stay-at-home mom and he provides for the family. We have had a dope marriage with a great sex life. We have always gone above and beyond to flirt and make each other feel wanted and appreciated and loved every day. We have had some communication problems here and there, but we have really worked hard to work on it and work through it. The past 6 to 8 months, things have changed. He hasn't stopped completely with the flirting and other things, but he has significantly stepped back from all those things. I understand our partner goes through things that we do not understand, and all we can do is love them and try to talk to them about it. When I've tried to ask him what has changed or if he is going through something, he tells me no and gets agitated. I immediately step back as I don't want to push him or nag and give him space. I still do all my normal flirting, as in sending him the sexy pics while he's at work, telling him how sexy he is, how proud of him I am, and how appreciative I am of him, etc. But his mood doesn't seem to change. Our sex life has taken a huge plummet as well. It has gone from can't keep our hands off of each other to maybe once or twice a week, which is very unlike him.
After 11 years.
Yeah. And I've been the one to mostly come on to him since he's been this way. When I really knew there was a problem was when we went to the beach for the weekend, just him and I, and it was like we didn't know how to act around each other. We hardly spoke and were intimate at all. When I mentioned it on the way home, I was told I was talking dumb shit and all it's doing is making him angry and he doesn't know how to fix it.
Okay, so it sounds like he's depressed. It sounds like there's something's probably happened with his hormones.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I hate to be the guy that like he needs to get his blood work checked, he needs to get his fucking blood work checked. If they've been together for 11 years, assuming they got a 13-year-old kid, he's got to be in his mid 30s by now, right?
Right.
Did she say his age? She didn't.
No.
Did he? Okay. That would be rule number 1. Get your hormones checked. You both should do it together. You never know what you're going to find in a blood panel. And as much as like, I don't want to be the hype man all the time. Matrix hormone has done a lot for us in terms of our personal lives and finding out what's going on in our bodies. And you should be doing that anyways. So check out matrixhormones.com, hit the new patient form, fill it out. There's a drop down. If you hit to be better on there, it'll save you $200 on your consultation. I would have him get his blood work done first and foremost, because if his testosterone is low or his estrogen is high, or if there's an imbalance there, that could create that. That could also create depression. So if he's depressed and his hormones are off, they balance the hormones, the depression goes away, sex drive goes back up, that could stop that. There could be stress factors, there could be age factors in terms of like ED,
Work factors.
There could be, the intimacy could be gone in your relationship for other reasons. We don't know. Like, you haven't given us anything yet, but everything that sounds like stress, depression, and hormone issues. And stress, depression can come from hormone issues.
Right.
So
back into the email. So I dropped it and never said another word and drove the rest of the hour and a half in almost silence. I'm tired of walking on eggshells and tired of trying to fix it but not getting anywhere. He just seems so angry and distant. He laughs and jokes with everyone but me. And when I try to joke and love on him, his mood changes and he just gets mad, saying how it's not the time, or he pushes away from me.
Huh.
Okay, well, I was going to say first, him laughing and joking with everyone but you. He could be masking himself.
Yeah.
And you are getting the truest, raw version of him right now.
That was actually my initial thought, is that he's putting on a front for everyone else and he's fucking miserable, but because you're married, you get to see that.
Right.
Yep, that's exactly where my brain went.
The next sentence, and when I try to joke and love on him, his mood changes and he gets mad, saying now is not the time, or he pushes away from me. So if you guys are in a more public setting and you're trying to love on him because he's in a good mood, that is definitely not the time.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the fact, see, this is crazy how different our brains are, because we were dead on with the first part of that. And the second part was that if he is depressed and he is masking and doing all of that, and you're trying to love on him, you should know that he's going through what he's going through, because even though he may not have verbalized any of it, you can tell when your partner's off.
Yeah.
You can tell. I mean, it's just all there is to that. You should know. And there's things that you can do to try to work around that, and there's definitely ways that you can talk about it. Being accusatory is definitely not it.
Right.
You know, if you were on vacation for the weekend at the beach and you wanted to try to have sexy time, you should have tried to have sexy time, not waited and then been disappointed and throw it in his face when you leave. Like, it's not how you do that. That text message shit works both ways.
Right.
So life works both ways. If you're wanting that, you need to be the one to initiate it. Sometimes you'll always be the initiator, and sometimes you won't be at all. That balance doesn't matter. You're keeping score. Who gives a shit who initiates it all the time if the outcome is good? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. But I also understand the need to want to feel attractive and wanted and desired, and like that could happen in other ways. You just have to take an account of what's going on in life. Like me buying you your knives or your hammock that should be here Thursday. Like, even if I'm depressed and I'm not physical, I still love you and I'm still doing things to show you that I love you. You just have to pay attention to what's actually happening.
Right.
Some people get caught up in the me aspect of it, and why is he doing this to me instead of what is he going through or what is she going through, and that creates a whole nother problem in its own.
Yeah.
Check-ins. Do the check-ins.
Yeah. There could also be a frustration on his end if you're constantly pushing the fact that he's not satisfying you, or
that's a good one too.
Yeah. If every week you're trying to initiate sex, and for the past 6 months he's been really going through it, and his mood hasn't changed, at this point he expects you to understand.
Yeah. Yep. And that's also a problem on his part. He should communicate what's going on.
Right.
But you're probably dead on that one. Yep.
When you tell me that you're depressed, so there are times where I'll try to initiate, and then you'll tell me like, "Hey, I'm depressed. I'm going through it," and that'll be like the first conversation of having that. And then from then, I don't try again. A few days will go by, and then I'll try to initiate again and see how you're feeling. And it's either, okay, we'll try and see where it goes, or it's not today, babe.
Yeah.
And there is never I just wish we had what we had in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's an understanding. Life changes, variables change, mental health changes.
Yeah. I think it's important to remember too that, like, when you're not living with somebody, sexy time will always be different than when you are.
Yeah.
Because you get very limited time with your person, so you try to make them the most of that time that you get with them. And then, like, stress of jobs can happen. That can change sex life. Stress of jobs can change sex life for people who are courting still. It just looks different.
Right.
Because now it's, hey, I had a bad day. I'm not going to come over tonight. No sexy time happened. You didn't get cuddle time. You didn't watch TV. You didn't even have dinner. Oh boy just stayed home because he had a bad day at work and he doesn't want to fucking do anything.
Right.
But when you're living together, there's no decompression, especially with 3 fucking kids in the house. Like, you guys have to remember that your partner is a person, and you need to be in tune to what's going on. We do the same thing. We both have the depression. It happens often. And some days, like, we'll hype each other up and build anticipation. At the end of the night, be like, hey, I'm fucking going through it now. Like, can we do this tomorrow? It's not like a bad thing to be like, okay, tomorrow.
Right.
You know, sometimes you just have to have grace. I gotta be honest, the sexy time, though important. If we go to bed and you still lay on me every night when we're both depressed, and we still hold each other afterwards, and like the routine of non-sexual intimacy continues, it lessens the need of the sexual intimacy, because I know the intimacy is still there. So I think that that's important to remember too, that you need to keep up with all of the non-sexual intimacy. You need to be physical. You need to touch. You need to talk. You need spiritual intimacy. Like, there's a lot of things that need to be maintained there, and the sex aspect of it will be affected by all of those other things. So if you don't have grace with your person, or you are always bringing it up and you are always nagging, or you're not understanding what they're going through and they haven't been able to decompress, like, all of that will affect the sex life.
Yeah.
So
Back into the email. I just don't know what to do. Do I leave it alone and give it more time and keep loving him through it, hoping he'll come back around? Or do I push a little harder to figure out why he has shifted away from me so much? Okay, so you pushing so far has not worked. So what makes you think pushing harder is going to yield a different result?
Right.
Okay.
Check-ins need to happen. Hang on
Yeah.
1 second.
I just really miss my husband and my best friend. I hope I was detailed enough. I'm sorry if it wasn't. Follow up. I realized I left some things out. I wanted to add that I take time in my appearance, like putting on a little makeup, wearing decent clothing, and fixing my hair, as it makes me feel better and I love to look good for him. He is a wonderful man. I just miss the marriage that we had. So,
Everything that she's listed has been superficial.
I also want to touch on this came across as a very like self-centered email
Why is that?
because she touched on they don't flirt as much. There has really been no, like, I've noticed this changed in his life, or like on this day I really noticed a change. It's just been our sex life isn't what it was. I'm still sending him sexy pictures. I'm telling him how sexy he is.
And by the way, I still put makeup on.
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely something deeper going on there.
Right. This is,
Yeah.
I wish there were like conversations included. Like when you've brought this up, what did he say besides just getting angry? Like, what were his words? What was his tone? How often do you guys discuss this? Is this a daily conversation for you guys?
Yeah, I get that. There's definitely, it's weird. I was thinking a minute ago that like there's always a catalyst. And for me, when my sex drive gets fucked up, it's always my hormones or my depression.
Yeah.
And my depression's always worse with my hormones.
Yeah.
So like,
When your hormones are off.
right. And sometimes it just means they're off balance.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I'm on my test through Matrix and I'm taking my injections, if I forget to take my estrogen blockers, it can create problems like yesterday where I was tired at 7:00 at night. Woke up this morning, took an estrogen blocker, and like I feel better now than I did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But I was asleep almost instant last night.
Yeah, you are.
And part of that was exhaustion, but I was also super depressed yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And like today, I still have lingering depression. I guess it's probably not the right word. I'm overwhelmed today because of so much shit that I have to do and how far behind I am on things.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got that like get it done, get it done, get it done. Oh God, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Kind of thing. And I know that I can get through it. It's just a matter of prioritizing and executing.
Right.
But I know that my energy has been different today because of it. But I feel better tonight. And tomorrow morning I'll probably take another one just to get my balance back. I think a lot of that can be resolved by people just staying on top of their shit.
Yeah.
And the way that I understand hormones and the way that I understand the food that we're eating and things that we're taking in, like I don't think people realize how fucked up our bodies are.
Right.
So for me, my cognitive bias is always if something that drastic has changed, either there was a catalyst to change it or there's an imbalance in his body and he's unaware of it. Mm-hmm. Because most men won't do anything about it until their dick don't work.
Right.
And if he's getting to a point where his dick don't work, maybe he needs to get his blood work done. I don't know.
I wish there was more detail about, like I said, just conversations. I feel like there was no information there besides her emotion.
Yeah. Her needs.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a possibility there that there has been a catalyst, something that shifted in their relationship that made him not want to do that? And as time has gone on, he has found his needs met in other ways, whether it be corn or other people or attention on the internet, or because if your relationship is amazing, then all of a sudden it's not, like something changed.
Especially after 11 years.
Right. There's a catalyst.
Right. People start seeing issues after like the 2 to 3 year mark, and then again at the 7-year mark.
Yeah, but that shit, the 7-year itch comes down to like, did I make the right decision? Did I marry the right woman? Like, could I have done better? You know what I mean? Because people, that's a long time to live a life with somebody, and everybody does that. And it's not always with a person. Sometimes it's like, did I make the right career choice? You know what I mean? Like, you will always what if scenarios, especially for people who hold on to shit like that. So I don't know, but you're right. At the 10-year, 11-year mark, like you're in it at that point. It's a decade. Mm-hmm. Something happened.
Right. and for it to last 6 to 9 months and he gets angry every single time it's brought up, I'm 100% what ifing at this point.
So am I.
Do you
'Cause
think,
it's going.
right? Do you think it could be he has told her what the issue is, but at this point he's tired of repeating
Yep.
himself?
I absolutely do. I absolutely do. I
Yeah.
wasn't going to say that, but I absolutely do. Because we are people who will tell you, men will tell you what's going on with us, but because we're not emotional like y'all are, it's not the same. Like I can tell you I'm in pain. This hurts, or I'm having a bad day, but unless I'm a fucking in kidney pain and you see that pain, you don't understand the level of pain I'm in because I'm always in pain.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like it's one of those things. If I'm going through it today, you just know I'm going through it today. If you walked in on me crying with my gun in my hand, it would be a very different I'm going through it today than me just telling you. But me just telling you I'm going through it today could be at that level and I'm just navigating around the shit. So I do believe that if there was a problem that he's probably addressed it. Work is really stressing me out. I'm trying to figure out this new client, or
Okay.
we're super stressed out about money right now. Like maybe we don't have money because money's a big factor for a lot of fucking people.
Right.
Maybe she's gained weight. Could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I do believe that there's a strong possibility it's been verbalized and just not to the way that she needed to hear it.
Or do you think it's something that doesn't affect her as largely as it does him, so she doesn't view it as a enough reason to be in the funk that he is in?
Probably because people don't. That's the perception is reality.
Right.
The way that we perceive situations will dictate the way that we respond to the situation. And we know people that are going through things and they can drag us into it, and you'll respond very differently than I will. And whether that's life experience or whatever it is, that could absolutely be the case. If he's the breadwinner or the finance handler, and they are barely making ends meet every month, and every month he is super fucking stressed about how to make ends meet, or maybe he's secretly using his credit cards to keep things afloat. And like he's telling her, we're kind of fucked up on money right now. I'm stressed out about it. And she's like, okay. And then tomorrow she goes to Target and Starbucks and
Right.
then goes to the nail salon and hair salon and spends $1,000 on her credit card that he now has to figure out how to fucking pay. Like I've already told her several times that we're stressed out about money. She obviously doesn't give a shit that I'm stressed out, and she's just making me make it work. Like,
Right.
again, these are all what ifs, and I could do this all night long because she didn't give us any real information on what's going on other than she's not happy with her sex life.
Right.
Something changed.
Something did change, yeah.
Yeah.
There was something I wanted to touch on. You said that you'll spend money to make me smile even if you don't want to spend the money. Do you feel like I spend too much money?
No, I tell you when we can't, and you go okay.
Why was that the one specific thing you said that you would do to make me smile?
That was just the follow-up statement that I was making. I don't know. I don't even remember what I said before that, so I don't know if that was the only thing.
Okay.
I have to take you for your word that that's what you heard and that's all I said, but I'll know when I edit back because I'll get to hear it again. But men will. I don't remember. I don't remember where that was going or what I was talking about in that moment.
Okay.
So
It just made me ask because you said that you don't want to spend the money, but you will. I was like, damn, like what am I spending money on?
well, I mean, you're not a very bougie person. Like you've got a couple of really nice purses. Like you want a motorcycle and you want a Mercedes, but like you're not. You're not Veruca Salt.
Okay.
I want it. I want it now. So that's not really the case. But I also know that I will go above and beyond for you to make you smile. And sometimes that means buying you knife sets that are like $700 or, you know what I mean? So I do spend money to make you smile.
I appreciate it.
I don't remember what I was talking about when that got brought up. I also see that as a problem for a lot of people though.
What, making people smile or spending money?
Spending money.
To make somebody smile?
Just in general.
Yeah.
Like that was always one of the hard things when you and I first started courting. It was one of my big trust issues because when a man has means, women will take advantage of that shit.
Yeah.
I've seen it my entire life.
I'm going to be honest, when you and I started courting, I did not know how much money you made and I didn't give a fuck about it because I had my own money.
Yeah. Doesn't change the fact that it's still a concern
I know.
for men.
I know that.
Yep.
I was interested in you. Every single morning I wake up and see you and I just fucking trip and fall in love again.
Yeah. I like that I still wake up in the middle of the night to pee and come out and your butt's not covered up.
I did it so long, it's now a subconscious habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came out of the bathroom at 3:30 this morning. Your ass was in the air. I'm like, yay. And I laid down and started thinking about taxes and whiskey carts and motorcycles, and 4 a.m. It's time to get out of bed.
At least you got to see my butt.
I did. That's how I started my day this morning. I peed, closed a window, and saw your ass.
I hope my ass made up for the window.
It did not.
I'm so sorry. At least you've only caught it twice out of the hundreds of times I've done it.
That's because you've caught it the other times.
It's because I remember to do it. I was so thrown out of my routine last night by you saying I'm going to go lay down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a hard one for me. Today was a hard day too, but I'm catching up.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that, found it entertaining, funny, or even learned something you didn't know before, share it. And if you're not subscribed, why aren't you? And for those of you who want to support us, get access to exclusive content and live streams, we do have a Patreon. All the links are in the description.